Uh, well, okay. We don't have intro song right now.
No.
All right, go ahead. Hello.
Oh shoot, we're live. We're live, live.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're live. Yeah,
I was
yep.
Cool.
looking
The
at this. There's an
video didn't
uploading
load there.
button, and I wasn't sure if it was like uploading our stream, but it keeps jumping back and forth in the percentage. Hello, folks. Sorry, we are dealing with a brand new streaming service. Well, I guess streaming client
Platform. Sure.
platform. So we're working out all the little bugs here and there that we gotta figure out what the hell we're doing. But hello, this is the Geek Matrix DC Comics Review Show, episode number 237, I believe.
There we go.
All right, and my name is Rob. As joining me, as always, is Josh
Hello.
and
That's
Brandon.
me. That's what they tell me anyway.
Hello, I'm here, and I definitely was not frantically searching for a number 237 of an issue because I said I was going to do that last week, and I just remembered until now. Um, but I don't have it.
Wasn't there
So,
a Batman 237 had significance? Why did that
um,
stick out at me?
I sent that issue last week. It's the famous Neil Adams cover with the
Okay, so
with the
last week was
Grim
number
Reaper on it.
237. Are we on 238?
That is a good
236, I
question.
think.
We're on 236. Oh, dag nabbit, Rob.
Yeah or
Get your
no?
shit together. Let me check this out.
I don't even know.
Yeah, check.
You'd think we'd be on the ball. Geek Matrix.
I mean, there's a reason why I changed, man. What?
Oh wait. Oh, no, fuck, I can't even. Jesus. No, Josh has not been numbering the episodes.
What?
Hang on, hang on. Well, that was.
You gotta be kidding me.
Oh no, you have been, but Spotify doesn't have anything since January 24th.
Ruh-roh. Wonder what's going on with that. Well, let's go with one, two, three, four.
Wait,
Sure, 236.
January 24th was 233. That was 233, 234, 235, 236. This says 237. I was right.
Okay, 237. Close enough.
Y'all making me second guess myself.
So it is or isn't 237?
It is
It
237.
is
Okay.
237. I
All
feel
right.
like we can move on now.
Yes.
I feel whole now. We,
Good.
we know the answer. We're all good.
I feel whole as well. And you know what else is whole? We got a whole lot of news.
What?
We do have a whole lot of
There's a
news.
whole bunch of shit.
Tell me about this
Well,
news.
if I may begin, some good news to start off. Early on in the week, I came across a post on Instagram from one Mr. Donnie Cates. letting
Oh,
Yeah, that
everybody
was very
yes.
know.
exciting to see.
It was very exciting to see, letting everybody know that he is back on the saddle and back to writing comics. Um, and there will be some announcements this summer, and he's asking people what he's asking people what they think it's going to be. He's just like gauging engagement. Um, but yeah, no, it's exciting to see Donnie Cates, fan favorite writer, uh, has written a lot of great books, and unfortunately had that car accident a couple of years ago that really fucked with his short-term memory. So everything
Yeah,
he was writing at the time got put on hold.
or just kind of completely had to operate without him, which
Yeah,
was unfortunate for some books, like Vanish in particular, which was one I was very excited for. And then, I mean, it was okay. It wasn't like a complete disaster, but definitely felt like the energy was kind of gone. So
yeah,
my hope is that he's doing well first and foremost. He's happy, he's healthy, and if he's ready, excited to write some more comics because I really am looking forward to some more comics from Donny Cates. It's been too long.
Yeah, I think that's what that was all about. I think Donny Cates is confident in what he can do. He knows he can put out what he has put out, and I can't wait.
Yes.
It was. It was. I'll be honest. It was probably a matter of time, but there was a period there where I was thinking, what if he just doesn't have the passion anymore?
Yeah. I mean,
Well, I don't know if the passion or the ability, rather, and
yeah.
and
Well, it could be a mix of both because actually, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I know that sometimes effects on memory can cause like a sense of lethargy or a loss of motivation or something like that. So it could be a mix of both in that he literally forgot a lot of the stuff that he wrote and also just had this underlying sense of I don't really want to do it anymore, but I don't want to speak for him.
I mean, we.
I'm
saw
glad he was able to find his way back into him. I guess that's all I'm saying.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Happy
But
for the guy.
if I may be so bold, I wonder if you guys have any particular books that you might be looking forward
Crossover.
to making a come. Obviously, it's kind of a
It's
leading
like,
question.
oh.
But that's
kind of a leading
that's-
question.
That's the thing I'm curious if he's going to be able to get back to because he got into what issue 12 and 13. He was
13.
knee deep in the plot, and it was a short-term memory that got lost. So any story beats he might have had planned, just gone. He'd basically
Yeah.
have to start that from scratch.
I mean, unless he outlined them, which is very possible, because I know he talked about how he had outlined the whole story,
Yeah.
and it kind of seemed like this next arc, the Kill Jeff Shaw arc, was going to be like the final arc of the series. So it's unfortunate timing that that what happened happened.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if there's an outline or something that he can work from, there's a possibility that they can reconstruct the story. Or who knows? Maybe him and Jeff Shaw work out a whole new story that's even more kick-ass than what they'd had planned.
I mean, it was such a great freaking book.
Yeah,
hmm
Brilliant stuff.
Brilliant
Hard to believe it's been-
indeed.
like 3 years since that book went on hiatus,
Yeah.
something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
What else we
It
got?
is pretty crazy. We have a whole bunch of other news that Brandon brought to our attention.
Really, one particular announcement I'm very excited for.
Yes.
But I don't know. I mean, obviously, this is our DC show, so we should only talk about DC books. That joke never gets old.
Neither here nor
We
there.
hardly even talk about DC books on this show. But we got
Mhm.
one.
Not for
bit
the
of
first
news.
hour, anyway.
More like not for the first 2 hours. Then by hour 3, we actually get to the reviews. But we got a bit of news from the Comics Pro presentation or Comics Pro Expo, which I guess is like a retailer's celebration / convention where they announce a lot of new stuff to get retailers excited. So there's always some cool announcements that come from that. But for me, the headliner of this announcement had to be the announcement that the new creative team on Captain America, as J. Michael Straczynski is ending his run, is going to be none other than Chip Zdarsky leaving DC, maybe, teaming up with Valeria Skidi to usher in a brand new era of Captain America. And I, for one, was super excited to see that, and then immediately was filled with instant rage and regret because I was like, wait a minute, Chip Zdarsky is Canadian. And as we all know, Canadians cannot and should not be allowed to write Captain America, the hero of the United States of America, not Canada, America. So at first I was excited for like 30 seconds, and then when the realization sunk in that some knucklehead was going to be writing one of the most iconic American heroes of all time,
Well, not if you
I was
ask
seething
Doctor.
with anger.
Not if you ask Donald Trump. Canada's the 51st state.
Oh, God, don't even. Let's not even go there.
We're gonna
Let's not
do
even
it
go there.
better.
Oh God, yeah. You guys can join our country and have a much shittier, expensive healthcare.
No. No,
Anyway,
thank you. No,
yeah.
thank you.
But no, all jokes aside, super pumped for this. This really feels like the first time. I mean, there have been some pretty cool Captain America runs since I don't know, maybe since the kind of craziness of the Rick Remender stuff, and obviously Secret Empire was what it was with the whole Nick Spencer stuff. But this really feels like the first time they're going all out with the Captain America creative team, like really just doing something that's going to be exciting for fans. So looking forward to this. Got some preview art and a really wicked looking promo piece by Valeria Skidi. And apparently, the arc is going to start at a rather interesting time in Steve Rogers' life, the period after he was awoken from the ice or unfrozen, but just before he joined the Avengers, which I had a couple of timeline questions about, but we'll see how that gets answered in the story. But enough details about that. When does the book come out? It's slated to come out on July 2nd, 1 day shy of, you guessed it, the most important holiday in the world, Canada Day, on July
Yeah.
1st. And also my birthday. Not that that's relevant.
Your birthday is July 1st?
My birthday is July 1st.
No wonder you're an honorary Canadian.
I had a friend in high school who's like from Toronto, and when I told him, because I used to make a ton of jokes about Canada in high school,
Yeah.
and when I told him that my birthday was July 1st, he's like, "You do know that's Canada Day, right?" And I was like, I had like a Luke Skywalker moment. I was like, "No, no, it's not true." It's like Barney Stinson finding out he's Canadian for the first time.
Oh, that's
It's like
hilarious.
I felt betrayed by my parents. Um, but yeah, no, coming out July 2nd. I'm almost wondering if that is an intentional, like, we don't want to do it on July 1st because it's Canada Day and people will make jokes about Captain Canada. But we don't want to do it on July 4th because we already did that
It's
like
Captain Canuck.
7 years ago. So yeah, I don't know. But looks good. Very excited for that. And I'm sure Chip's going to knock it out of the park. He said this run is going to be very similar to his run on Daredevil. And I mean, that's like one of the best runs of the past 5 years. So I have high expectations for this one.
Well, also spinning out of the Comics Pro convention, I guess, panels. There's a bit.
Yeah.
There's a few more headlines that I'm just seeing now. Um, Jeremy Adams has officially signed an exclusive contract with DC Comics.
Oh,
That's good news.
I'm sure that means more books coming in the future. Hopefully that like young superheroes book that he'd been teaming with Travis Mercer for a while.
Yeah. We have our first look at the first comics event, which tentatively is called, might tentatively, maybe officially called Ultimate Incursion, as long as,
Yeah.
as well as our first look at Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion, which teases the introduction of Miles Morales back into the Ultimate Universe in this time in 6160 instead of 1610. We also get our first kind of look at Jonathan Hickman's Imperial, which I think that was teased like what 2 years ago.
Not that much. We're not that old, but like maybe a couple months ago.
Oh, was it only a couple months? Feels like so much longer.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, we get our first look at that. Um, Marvel Comics is teasing that they're going to kill off Thor.
You gonna replace him with another Thor?
I'd say just let the character rest, but that's just me. And Torrin Grunbeck
Need to go. Let him
Or
go
they're
get
gonna
fat.
destroy the.
Spider-Girl series.
Yeah, they're gonna destroy the Nova.
There's gonna
Corps
be a
for
Spider
the
Girl series.
fourth time.
Yeah.
I think third or fourth time. I don't even know how many times it's been. I want to say maybe the third.
And that's why they're Marvel's copy of the DC Green Lanterns.
I mean, you could say that, but
Marvel also has a small little, not really an imprint, more like a initiative. They're calling "Bring On the Bad Guys," which is a whole bunch of new number one new number ones, books about various villains. And we have Doom number one, Green Goblin number one, Abomination number one, Loki number one, Red Skull number one, Dormammu number one, and finally Mephisto number one.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Run those by me one more time.
We got Doom, Green
Yeah.
Goblin,
Uh-huh.
Abomination,
Uh,
Loki,
hmm.
Red
Okay.
Skull, Dormammu, and Mephisto.
Dormammu, Mephisto, Loki, and Abomination. I'm interested in all of those.
Hopefully, we finally get. I know he's doing a lot, but hopefully, we finally get the Jonathan Hickman Doctor Doom book that I've been waiting for like 5 years. Not Fantastic Four. I mean, I'm always welcome to do more Fantastic Four, but like just Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
You know,
That
I don't care what the story is. I just want to see him do more stuff with Doom.
That'd be so cool. A
Mhm.
Jonathan Hickman Doctor Doom book? Fuck yeah.
Yes, please, please, Lord. I don't ask for much, but I am asking for this.
What if it's Doctor Doom having to fight for healthcare in Latveria? That would be cool.
And depressing.
He wouldn't need to fight much.
A Doom story can be
Rules
depressing
that
and good.
With a literally iron fist. Like he speaks, the people bow.
Or maybe turn a new leaf.
Maybe. Another announcement coming out of Marvel. It's the last one I will talk about because I just need to laugh about it. Unless Brandon, you want to talk about it, so I can just laugh about it.
What is this?
I don't know.
I'll just bring it up then. Last week I mentioned that Marvel had a teaser image featuring the grave of Gwen Stacy.
Oh God, I was not gonna bring this up.
Okay.
Because why even talk about it? It's
I need to
A
bring
waste
it up
of
'cause
air.
I brought up the teaser image last week, but now they've
Oh.
announced, and yes, listener, hold on to the edge of your seat. It's going to get messy.
hold on
Oh,
to
no.
your seat because you're going to keel over and die
Yes,
of shame.
yes, but it's something this character clearly cannot do, because somebody is going to dig up Gwen Stacy's body and inject her with all sorts of mutant DNA, and she will become Dark Gwenpool.
I recall something Josh said a while ago that always pops in my head every now and then, which is that the '90s never really ended.
Yeah.
And
Nope.
this feels like one of those times where it's very true.
I'm fucking saying, oh my
Very
god.
much.
Not even because this is such a blatant gimmick, but because they're utterly shameless about it.
Yep.
Not even fucking trying to hide it, man.
No.
Not even.
It's literally the costume and the abilities that we've seen on display in the teaser images of Dark Gwenpool. Especially considering like the original Gwenpool has nothing to do with Gwen Stacy, realistically. It's not the same character. It just happened to have the same first name. But this version of Gwen Stacy will be appearing in a Gwenpool series. And she will be Dark Gwenpool, where she'll have basically the same costume design, but it's going to be purple and black. And she's going to have Baraka-like claws coming out of her forearms.
Out of her
So-
forearms?
Yes. Hella 90s. Hella fucking 90s. Yeah,
Right.
right
Does
out of
she
here.
spin like Sonic too?
As I mentioned
Baraka.
in our comics chat, I just take solace in the fact that this is not happening in a Spider-Man comic.
Yeah, thankfully. Thankfully, they're not doing the Weapon Gwen arc of Spider-Man that goes for 18 issues.
Weapon Gwen.
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me. I was like, is that a real thing?
No, I'm saying that's what I would expect, right? That's the kind of thing I would expect.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the Spider-Man universe, I mean, anything is possible.
but don't say that. Because
I mean,
anything shouldn't be possible in Spider-Man. They've been through enough shit. They need to just start working on good things.
there's always new shit to be found. You never stop making shit.
All
It's
the
a
new shit
constant,
they make
like
is
death and
horrible.
taxes.
I also just can't wait for after Dark Gwenpool to become a staple character in Marvel Comics to eventually we get a team-up book of Jackpot, Dark Gwenpool, and Black Cat, and it'll be called the New York City Sirens.
The dark dog pool. I need her to have a sidekick there.
Oh, aside, yeah. Dog pool.
Yes, dark dog
Yeah.
pool.
There was one last announcement that was not Marvel related, and I think I'll let Brandon take this over.
I'm also not sure which one this is.
About a kaiju.
Oh, right. I like totally spaced on how much crap I said this week. Yeah, no, I'm not even really sure how to cue this one up other than new Godzilla series. We have plenty of Godzilla series, but this one I think is specifically just called Godzilla. There's no auxiliary titles or anything. But apparently is going to take Godzilla to space or something like that. Very interesting take,
That's
but I
epic.
was particularly excited to see the creative team behind this one because it feels very perfect. With Tim Seeley providing the story for this one, and Nikola Chismezgija, who's done quite a few works at DC, doing the art for this one. But I looked at some of the preview pages,
And he's good.
as well as the cover, and it's incredible. Like just the sheer amount of detail being put into one scene of destruction is gorgeous. It's like a James Stokey piece.
Indeed.
But yeah, Godzilla #1 from IDW Comics is coming out also in July. And you can check out more details at IGN or probably somewhere else too. Yeah, I need to look more into what the story was about, but I just saw this pop up and I was like, oh, that's cool. New Godzilla series. And for me, the art was an instant sell. So looking forward to that one too. Lots of cool stuff coming out in July.
Hell yeah. Nothing but good news so far.
I did get a look at the plot for that, and it's supposed to take place in the 50s based on the original Godzilla run.
That's cool.
Detailing
I see. Okay.
Godzilla's origins, but also the teenager that I'm a little fuzzy on where this, like what that part of the story is. But there's a teenager that supposedly works with Godzilla somehow to help take down rival kaiju.
Yes.
If I understood it correctly, we'll have to see. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that. Oh, you know what else came out last week?
What?
Captain America. The New World Order. The movie.
Oof. Yes,
The
it did.
motion
And
picture.
Oh,
it
right.
was not very good.
Oh,
I
geez.
Brave
saw it with
New
my friend
World.
last Sunday. Yeah, it was kind of a wet fart.
Wow, I
But we
really,
had fun laughing at
Oh,
it.
no.
Yeah.
I thought
yeah,
it
we
was-
had fun
I thought
laughing at
was- Like it wasn't top tier, but I thought it was pretty good.
Oof. Yeah. We. Ooh, yeah. I was like, wow. Okay, this is where we're at with some of these MCU movies. So we were basically just like, we came at it. I mean, yeah, we had a good time because we were just laughing at a lot of scenes.
Yeah.
And then there was also this crazy guy in the movie theater that definitely amplified the experience. But I think we were both just like, yeah, it's like if Fantastic Four doesn't bring new energy to the MCU, then I don't know. It might be time to call it quits.
The Fantastic Four does look really fucking good. Like it's getting back to the genre style that early MCU was famous for.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm hoping it will corner that market again.
Me
I'm
too.
not a
man,
fan
me
of
too.
the thing, but We'll see. I like the way he looks for sure.
Like I was like in general, you don't like Ben Grimm or
Oh no, I love the Thing. Hell, he's
It's
my
like, how can you
favorite
not
fucking
love?
character.
I was about to
Yeah.
throw hands. Oh, I was just fucking clobbering time now, boy. Come on.
No, yeah, no fucking. The Thing is the best member of the Fantastic Four. He's my favorite member of the Fantastic Four. In here.
Agreed. That's why he's usually
Yeah.
the one who gets the solo series.
Yeah.
People love him. They love him. The blue-eyed
Ever
thing.
loving blue-eyed thing.
Yeah, ever
Yeah.
loving blue-eyed Thing.
Oh, Petunia's favorite nephew.
Exactly. The
The
menace of
scion of
Yancey
Yancey
Street.
Yeah. Actually, so funny story. Last week, when I was playing Marvel Rivals, and I just had the 2005 Fantastic Four movie on in the background just to have some noise. And I've been curious about like rewatching it just to like revisit it because I had some nostalgia for it. I don't think I realized that there is a bit of an Easter egg that Ben Grimm's street in the movie when he goes and visits his fiance after he turns into like the orange rocky thing is actually Yancey Street. They have a street sign that says Yancey Street. I don't know if I realized that before. So
I don't think
did
yeah.
not.
I haven't seen that movie in forever, so I
Yeah.
definitely would not notice it.
That was actually pretty good, that one. I just don't like the way they did Doctor Doom, but the rest of the movie was good.
Yeah.
Which
It's better than that
the latest
crappy
one?
No,
2014 one,
2005.
but yeah.
Oh,
2014 was a shit show all around. My wife
Yeah.
has a hilarious story about watching that in theaters with me.
Oh my god. I would love to hear it sometime. I remember seeing that movie twice, and I don't even
Why?
remember why I saw it. So I think one might have just been like because I was with friends or something, and then I remember going to see it with like my aunt or something because she knew I liked comics, and she was like, "Well, let's just go watch like a Marvel thing. Let's go watch Fan Four Stick." And I was like, "Oh, okay."
God damn. It is the worst thing to watch if you're a comic book fan.
Yeah,
Even more so if you're a Fantastic Four fan.
yeah, that
I
kind of broke
watched
me.
that movie once on
oh.
a triple date with some friends. And it was also the first movie I went to go see with my wife because we in 2015 when the movie came out. So we went to go see it as a group. And she barely watched the movie because she was so busy watching me react to it.
Uh,
no.
Classic.
Yeah, I was pissed.
Yep.
I can only imagine.
Rob sitting in that movie theater making people uncomfortable.
It was the first time, and as far as I can remember, the only time I walked out of a theater seething.
Wow.
Like,
Damn.
I just wasted my money. That was. Well, actually, no. I take that back. I also saw Dragon Ball Evolution in theaters.
Oh my god. Jesus
I regret
Christ.
that as well.
I don't think I've ever walked out of a theater and just let. Oh wait, no, that's not true. The only time in my life I've ever walked out of a theater and literally just was like, I'm not coming back. I think it was with friends too. It was like, I'm not coming back until this shit is over.
Oh,
We went to see.
I finished both movies. I just when I
Oh,
left
really?
the theater, yeah, I was like, this
Oh
was-
no. Yeah, I was
And
like, I don't even care if I
if
paid
I'm
for
in
it.
it, I'm in it for the long haul because I'm not wasting money, even though I know it's a waste of money regardless.
Oh, I didn't even care at that point. I was like, I can't take this shit. It was
I paid my $12. I'm gonna hate watch this shit till it's done.
even at that point, I was like, this is torture. Went to see Central Intelligence,
Oh god.
starring Kevin Hart, and I'll never forget it. This is like 2015. Kevin Hart and Dwayne the Rock Johnson
Yeah.
in one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, and I got about 35 minutes in. I was like, "Fuck this! I'm leaving." So I just went to the Barnes and Noble, like across the street. I was like, "I'll just hang here until you're done."
Not a bad
Like,
alternative for that.
Just text me when you're done. Yeah, sure. Maybe I wasted like $15, but whatever. It's fine. Like I'm not gonna punish myself.
No, I will sit through a movie I hate and punish myself as a lesson to think twice before buying a ticket to such a shitty movie.
You would be an excellent monk.
I might be a cinematic masochist. I don't-
Oh.
Yeah. But no, like Fan Four shit is the absolute worst movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Fan
Because
four
there
shit.
are bad movies you'll watch, but you still find enjoyment out of them because they're bad, right?
Like
This
Daredevil.
was just all around bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That and-
Daredevil was just plain bad too, but it had some funny moments.
That is why I have rewatched that film in the past few years, if only just to see the outrageous performances from mostly Colin Farrell.
Oh god. I
But
can
you know,
never
occasionally,
not laugh at Colin Farrell just like doing this with a paperclip and it goes straight.
Jesus Christ! On the oh my god, yeah.
It is the funniest fucking thing. But I'll
Everything
give,
about
like,
that movie is so dated.
Michael Clark Duncan's Kingpin is
Oh yeah, he knocks it in the park.
yeah. He
The
could
one
do-
saving grace of that movie.
Yeah, he's the one saving grace in any movie he's in. R.I.P. R.I.P. King.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's been a part of some pretty damn good movies.
Yeah,
The Green Mile was, I mean, that's
yeah.
like mind-blowing cinema. That's
Yeah.
exemplary.
but like you could put him in The Room, and he would make it better somehow.
I'd be interested in seeing a cut like that. This is what AI
would
should be used for.
Love to see Michael Clark Duncan make The Room better. Yeah, that would have been great.
I bet he could.
Yeah, he could do all sorts of stuff. Yeah,
You know what I wonder if we can do?
get to the bus. Has it been an hour yet?
What do you think? You think we can do that?
Maybe
We can try.
We can try.
we can try.
Let's give her hell, guys.
Yeah, let's stop talking about shitty movies that nobody likes.
No, I never liked Daredevil. I know that might
The
make me a
movie
bad
or
person.
a character?
Oh, no, like
No, the movie. The movie.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Daredevil is
the movie
cool.
was bad. Don't get me.
Yeah,
like,
no, that.
Yeah.
we all agree that movie was not great.
Yeah.
I feel like people look back at it and liked it when they first watched it, and then later on realized how bad it was.
I think that's just a coping mechanism because you see it for the first time and you want to excuse a lot of the crap. I know I was that way, and it's not like I saw it in theaters. Thank God, it was just on, on VOD or whatever. But I don't know. I remember the first time I saw it, like I thought the whole church scene between Matt and Bullseye was the coolest shit ever. And then you think about it later, and you're like, it really wasn't though. You have to like come to terms with it, like you're apologetic.
And then Elektra comes out a few years later, and you're like, oh, maybe I
Yeah.
judged you too harsh.
Uh. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was possible to be worse.
No, and then Netflix made Daredevil with Charlie Cox, and you were like, I knew it could be good.
I knew it. And all it took was the right amount of care and appreciation
Yeah.
And budget.
and budget. Well, I mean, that one probably had a smaller budget than the movie. They had all those special effects and
yeah.
probably had to
How
pay
about
for
a
the rights
10-minute
for all
hallway
that.
fight scene?
That was
Yeah.
so fucking good. That
Plus, they didn't-
what
I
was that
mean-
show up into the apex.
Yeah, they didn't even have to like spend that much money on a costume or anything because the costume isn't even really used until like the last episode or something.
Yeah.
That first season was
Black
probably
t-shirt and a
yeah, the face covering.
half thing. Yeah, like some black cloth covering his head.
Mhm. And they didn't have to blow their budget on all of that terrible Rob Zombie music.
I will say this though, the director's cut that came out on DVD does make the movie a bit more watchable. It's still not good,
Oh,
but it's better.
I didn't even know it had a director's cut.
Yeah, it adds.
I gotta look that
extra
up.
Footage and adds more to the story. That does make a bit more enjoyable, but it's still
Mhm.
not great.
I figured.
Yeah, it's like the Snyder cut for Justice League.
Gives you a little more context, but doesn't drastically
Really do
improve the
anything.
story.
Yeah.
Are there really any director's cuts that I mean, actually, what am I saying? There are probably hundreds
I
of
think
director's
there's
cuts
definitely
that.
been some great director's
Yeah.
cuts.
The only ones
think
that I could think of right
the-
now are like Lord of the Rings.
I think the Blade Runner. There's a Blade Runner director's cut, right?
There is, and
I
there's
think wasn't that one like fantastic?
yeah, it's like the recut where they have Harrison Ford doing the narration, but it's really awkward for some reason.
Uh,
Because I think you just if you've seen Blade Runner a few times, you're just used to like those kind of more silent moments where he's out in the street and he's not like narrating to himself.
yeah.
But yeah, you can probably find those scenes on YouTube. It's kind of a trip.
I got another question. You remember when Josh said, "Could we review books?"
I do, but I chose not to listen.
But you
I-
chose not to listen.
I chose
have
not
the
to
housing
listen.
Back on movies. I have challengers open in my hand.
Well, I challenge you to actually talk about the book.
Well, I will take that challenge and talk about the book.
But a bum.
It's our first book of the week, Challengers of the Unknown, number 3. Bear with me for a second, because books we will not be talking about this week in our honorable mentions section. We have Milestone Universe, The Shadow Cabinet, number 4, DC Horror Presents Creature Commandos, number 5, Jenny Sparks, number 7, Catwoman, number 73, Batman and Robin, Year 1, number 5, Wonder Woman, number 18, and Batman Superman World's Finest, number 36. I've been able to flip through Wonder Woman and read half of World's Finest. And you know what I say about Wonder Woman? Nothing
What?
I
happens.
wonder why anyone's reading this book.
It's been 18 issues and 5 things have happened.
And there's literally a page of the Wonder Girls talking about Wonder Poop, and I'm like, wow,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
paid for this?
I don't know why.
I don't know
I
why
can't say
either.
that.
I want my
was
money back.
flipping through it rather quickly just to like get the gist, and then I passed by that and I thought I saw Cassie say, still talking about poop. I'm like, did I read that right? I had to like literally
If
do a
if you
physical
want
double
to
take.
see the president yelling for 20 pages and contributing absolutely nothing to the story as Diana gets ever closer to the White House while the sovereign just sits there spookily narrating, this is the book for you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it was not the book for me, and I regret having read it.
You know that gift?
How did we
um,
introduce Challengers of the Unknown and then start talking about fucking Wonder Woman?
We had to mention the honorables.
Yeah. I just wanted to say the how shit this is even more. But just
Oh,
one
I
last thing.
completely forgot about the honorable mentions. I haven't read them, any of them this week. My bad.
It's been
Do yourself a favor, save the extra $1, and go buy Batman and Robin at year 1. It's 1,000 times better and much
I
more
mean, I've
entertaining.
got them all. I just haven't read them.
Yeah. But you remember? Have you ever seen that GIF of? It's probably from like Discovery Channel where they have like like MythBusters used to do like tests, and they had this truck running into a bollard at high speeds, but the GIF
Mhm.
is the truck just like constantly the camera cutting to different angles over and over again of it nearly hitting the bollard, but then it just loops around and it's just constantly almost hitting the bollard, almost hitting the bollard, almost hitting the bollard, and you never get that release of it actually hitting the bollard.
Yeah,
That's reading Wonder Woman number 18.
yeah, you captured it.
That feeling you get of she's like, did she get? No, okay, she's not there yet. Okay, wait, she took it.
You guys think
no.
I'm crazy because I'm always shitting on the way Tom King writes. And it always ends up like this. Every single
This is
time.
this is
Crazy
a bad
because
example of it.
Of you shitting on the way Tom King writes. I just think you're crazy that you think he's always this bad.
Yes, that's what I was saying. It's not.
Every
It's,
writer
it,
has bad books.
when I'll say this,
all
I
of
mean
his
it.
books.
When it's
All of
when
his
it's-
books do this. It's to at least
Okay.
some varying degree, but all of his books do it.
when it's bad, it's bad. When it's good, it's great. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like when he's
Mega Man.
on all firing on all cylinders and it works and everything just clicks together in a magical way, it's great. It's
In
phenomenal.
Omega Man.
When it's bad, it's this.
Everything else.
It's Batman. It's I Am Suicide. And no, that's not me saying I want to commit suicide. That is the arc I Am
Mhm.
Suicide, which coincidentally made me want to commit suicide.
Kill me. Why do I keep buying this goddamn book?
God damn it. You want to talk about torturing yourself?
Yeah.
I am saying. What are you saying about the challengers of the unknown?
I don't know.
Me either. You haven't
Kind
told
of, it's
me
kind
yet.
of unknown. What I do know is that it's written by Christopher Cantwell with art from Sean Discazi, Amake Noel Pen, and colors from Romulo Fajardo Jr. with letters from Hassan Osmane El Ho, and the cover that you see before you from Izakazi and Fajardo Jr. We open up on the Atoms and Prof. Haley. Yeah, Haley?
Mm-hmm. Good old
That's the last
Prof.
name.
Haley.
Haley, okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure if I had it right because the title of the issue is Prof's Hierophany, and that also starts with an H, and it made me second guess myself. But I thought that's way too long for it to be his last name. But it's Prof. Haley. They are running experiments um, together for the Atom Project, but the Atom still will not tell the Prof what the Atom Project is all about. Excuse me, because not that they don't trust him, it's just that it's very sensitive information. Excuse me. And they're only including him because they do trust him. But that is still not good news to the Prof's ears because the challengers, as we all know, are being left in the dark, left, right, and center all across the watchtower. Um, he goes to visit Ken Kawa yet again to try and figure out whatever's going on, and even just to be with his buddy for a little bit. And it gets a little bit. No, wait, that's not even him. That's Rocky. Sorry, Rocky visits Kenkawa and tries to figure stuff out. Again, decides he's a little bit too tired of superhero secrets, so he's going to have an off-the-books meeting with all the challengers of the unknown together. Meanwhile, the Prof is walking through the Watchtower. I nearly called it Titan's Tower, but the Watchtower. And he runs into Mr. Terrific, who asks him why he's not on Dinosaur Island investigating DS Anomaly C. Um, to which he replies that he was helping the Atoms with a project, with the Atom Project, and he will head out right away. So now, Prof and the Atoms head off to Dinosaur Island, get inside um, with the help of Swamp Thing, who is guarding the island by making a giant uh, foliage wall right around it, either to keep things out or keep things in. And as they get on the island, they are almost instantly attacked by a whole bunch of dinosaurs, but are saved by none other than Anthro and Embra. Anthro, you may remember to be the first son, the opposite
First
of
boy or
first boy.
something.
Yes, first
First
boy.
boy on Earth. I think that was what that book
Polar
was called.
opposite to
Anthro, the
Comedy,
first
the
boy.
last boy on Earth.
There you go.
Yeah. Which I don't. I want to say Comedy came first, and then Anthro came after.
Well, Commandy was 1971, but I don't know about Anthro. Sounds like a
Yeah.
showcase character, so it might be from like the 60s.
Oh,
I
okay.
had to guess he probably came first.
But I imagine they were created in the same vein.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
The idea of like a lone boy in a strange and fantastical world.
Yeah. Yeah. Anthro is, as we know, Cro-Magnon. Um, so very limited intelligence. Embra, who I don't really know that well, also seems to be Cro-Magnon though, alongside Anthro. But this pair are actually super smart, hyper intelligent, and speak perfect English, even better than the Atoms and Prof. Haley, which is very surprising. They even have advanced technology alongside them. And now we see DS Anomaly C, a uh, uprising in intelligence on Dinosaur Island. They go to a nearby cave where Ambra and Anthro reside and come across the Optimum, who is the being that has given Anthro and Ambra their intelligence and their technology. The Optimum has a conversation directly with Prof. Haley as he stops time and does freak Prof. Haley out, but he needs to have a very private conversation as he reveals that the Optimum is actually Prof. Haley. Version of Prof.
Dum
Haley
dum
from the future
dum.
after he has solved all sorts of things. His future is very important, very big, and it starts now. In fact, to a certain degree, he has even solved not only the anti life equation, but the life equation as he combined them together mathematically into one single idea. And what that idea is the optimum. And that is what he will become. That is what awaits him in the future. However, that is all the Optimum can tell him, despite the fact that he, Prof. Haley, that is demanding more information, um, but the Optimum refuses to give it to him. So when he's brought back into regular winding time, he does turn to the Atoms and say, "I need to know about the Atom Project right now. Tell me." Um, and the Atoms say no. Anthro gets in the way, says you defy the Optimum because the Optimum is like their god. Um, and then the Optimum gets in the way, and a fight occurs. Shit goes haywire. Anthro attacks Prof. Haley with a giant stone. The Atom smashes the stone, takes out Anthro, and then Optimum, the Optimum, gets a hold of Ray Palmer Atom, gets into his mind, and takes the information of the secret of his power, the ability to shrink, and just the knowledge of how the shrinking works with the dwarf star um, energy, is able to shrink his own body down, but he does not have the intelligence for it or the understanding of it to control it. So he gets crushed under Ray Palmer's boot, and then they all head back to the Watchtower after. Anthro and Ambra are now back to their old selves with limited intelligence. Um, Prof. Haley has now been quarantined alongside the other challengers that have been quarantined already by Mr. Terrific, as he does not trust anything the Prof. Haley is saying at this point. Um, and as we see at the last page, a whole bunch of challengers all together being called the Challengers Operations Unit, and they are threatening now to shut this watchtower down if they do not get the info they need. So shit's going haywire. It's falling down all around them. Whatever's happening with the challengers, we're getting a bit more information here and there. The core team of challengers all have something to do with this gigantic dark side anomaly, but we still have no clue what it is. But I'm still enjoying the ride. 3 issues in out of 6 issues. I'm so happy this book is here just to get more challengers, and it's a hell of a story to have it. Seeing each challenger team up with various members of the league that oddly enough also kind of corresponds to that same person, either in a similar fashion or an opposite fashion, is a very interesting way to pair them up. And this issue is no different, but I will say this issue might be a little more lacking in comparison to the first two. It gave us a lot of cool ideas and revelations about the future of Prof. Haley, but really didn't give us as much, I felt, as it did with June and what was it, Red in the first issue?
Ace. Red, I think, is going to be in the next issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Didn't feel like it didn't give us as much as those two got. As much story, I mean. Like, this one seemed cut and dry. The Optimum was cool, but I was expecting more, because I got to the end, I'm like, oh shit, that's okay, it's done. This adventure's over. I'm curious to see what the hell the challengers are going to get up to, though, because there's quite a few challengers. They're literally all over the blood.
Yeah, there's a whole division of challengers.
Yeah, I didn't even realize there was that many challengers. there's a lot.
Well, they definitely pulled in some deep cuts, which was surprising, because some of them I didn't even recognize, and I was like, oh my god, I gotta do my homework.
Yeah.
And there is a Challenger series from I gotta double check it. I think it's like the late 90s, early it's not the Jeff Lowe one, but it's a complete like relaunch of the Challengers. And that was the one that had like a couple of the characters were speaking at the end about like when they have to go to war with the Justice League. I was just looking at it the other day. But yeah, no, this is really like pulling in all of them. Oh, 1997.
Right.
That's the one. And that had Ken Kawa, Clay Brody, Brenda Ruskin, and Marlon Corbett
Oh, okay.
as its lineup. So that's where they come from.
Right on. Yeah, it's a heck of a team of challengers. I can't wait to see where this story is going to lead. We know next issue is probably going to be much the same as the first 3 issues, where it's going to be a member of the core challengers team or the original challengers team going on an adventure and finding out that there's a bit more to them than meets the eye. And then probably issue 5 and 6. I believe this one's got 6 issues. I think the only one that was 5 is Black Lightning. Yeah, I'm dying to see what the hell's gonna happen. Challengers versus the Justice League. I'm sold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can I just say I
going
don't
to
know if
give
you can
this,
trust somebody that. I don't know if you can trust somebody with a helmet that looks like a mix between a portable Cerebro and the Maker.
Yeah. Right. You're talking about
Yeah.
yeah, that was my first thought too when I saw that. It was
Yep.
a wonky helmet.
It's like you should have known better. That just looks evil, man.
I'm gonna give this issue an 8.25 out of 10.
Oh, you covered just about everything. I'm wide open to what happens next, man. It looks good, it feels good, smells good, lives me gots of good, lots of good, and a lot of questions. Can't wait to find out the answers to those questions. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't have much else to add other than give us all the challengers, every challenger, which it seems like they are planning to do. So 8 out of 10 for me.
Yep, it feels like they're having fun writing this book, and I am having a lot of fun reading it.
Hell yeah.
Definitely.
All right, well, they answered our prayers with that one, and hopefully with the next one, that'll happen as well.
Yeah. The New Gods, number 2. Or no, sorry, number 3. Excuse me.
This is
Written by Ram V with art for the Chronicler sequence by Riccardo Federici and the present day sequence by Evan Cagle with colors from Francesco Segala and letters from Tom Napolitano. This really is a tale of 2 stories that do intertwine a bit towards the end, but best if told separately. So our story starts with Metron speaking to the Chronicler, who is regaling him with the tale of the first ending, as they are now approaching an ending, or a possible ending, of the end of the Second World, the inevitable Ragnarok, which may sound familiar because it's Ragnarok, but new god. And the tale of 3 brothers, Arbor, Shruta, Parzuram, and Niktar, which sound
Bless
like
you.
the most fantasy names ever. But looking beyond that, there is more to their story as they prepared to make plans as they knew that their world was coming to an end, to basically establish different legacies for themselves. So Arbor Struta had gathered up the remnants of the war, like all the people who had been displaced and so forth, and allowed them to follow after her. Meanwhile, Niktar had surrounded himself with explorers and people looking to go beyond, and Oldgrun, or excuse me, not Oldgrun, Parzuram. I'm trying to like keep track of all this stuff. Who supposedly had the inner workings of things, resigned himself to create and to build new wonders and new creations, and in particular created something that predicted the coming of a future world, the fourth world. But Niktar, I guess, became vengeful, and perhaps was a little resentful of his siblings, and therefore turned against them, starting first with Parzarem, and then turning his attention to Arbor Sutra, who was imprisoned, although was able to, I guess, separate himself into two different aspects, one of which crash landed on Earth and then presented itself as a sort of enlightened figure, that would then take on many different names, such as Prometheus, and Pitahama, and basically became a figure of enlightenment, that would then bring knowledge to many different people, but anticipating a future end, something that might also bring about the end times, much like before, crafted a sort of last resort or a weapon, in a child that would then take the form of a new god and would lie dormant in a temple until the time arose or until the time was right, which just so happens to be now. So the answer of the mysterious baby that was being hunted, with powers in the previous two issues has been answered, as we see in flashbacks that particular baby was discovered by one of the explorers, and is now kind of on the run. And after the chronicler has sort of caught Metron up to speed, Metron is wondering why now, are these things emerging? And of course, our answer is that with the absence of Darkseid and the unrest on Apocalypse, what more suitable time is there for this creature, for this child to emerge? So that's our backstory. When we cut to the present day, we start with Scott Free checking in with none other than Oberon, his old manager, who is presenting his, I guess, old slash new contraption, the Escapatron, which will allow him to get to the location of the child in an instant, which they do, as we cut to the end of the issue, and see that they are still on the run from Maxwell Lord's goons, but thankfully, Mr. Miracle and Barda are able to arrive just in time as Barda smashes their car to smithereens, and Scott looks on in pride, knowing that they are in quite a bit of trouble and have quite the fight
Ooh,
ahead of
you
them.
guys are in so much trouble.
The story is a lot more dense than that, with more nuances that I probably didn't mention, but I think I got the gist of it. But what to say about this one? I mean, it is predominantly a, I guess, flashback issue, but really gives quite a lot of layered backstory to the old gods,
Yep.
who have never really been explored in great detail before. So it's always been kind of a mystery. We know they lie beyond the source wall, that they existed and were reformed to give birth to the new gods, but there's still a lot of lore there that is yet to be tapped, and this is kind of Romvi taking a crack at it, which I really appreciated. So we had Philip Kennedy Johnson kind of kicking it off with the Ulgrin myths in the past few years, and it seems like Romvi's almost taking it a step further and giving us even more myth to sink our teeth into, which I really appreciate. So aside from the beautiful art from Riccardo Federici, which like doesn't, I don't even need to go into great detail. Just look at it. It's like
It's, oh
painting
man, it's
worthy,
so good.
like classic painting worthy. The story itself is just really engaging, and yes, very dense. But if you can really just stick your teeth into it and get into the mythology of it all, it's definitely worth it. So this one is an easy 9 out of 10 for me. Absolutely loved it. The only complaint I have is that we didn't get to push the main story forward as much as I might have liked, but hopefully that'll be the focus of next month's issue.
Right on.
What's
Um,
Don't all speak at once.
your score? I mean, I don't have
right.
much to say.
Oh no. Well, all I've got to say about it is, I mean, Brandon, you kind of covered it. This is Ron V just putting more layers into the lore of the new god. Something that it's a long time coming. I think. Excuse me. uh, I feel like that it's kind of been treated like holy ground because it's Jack Kirby, but this
Yeah.
needed to be done.
Mhm.
And
Well,
honestly, I can't think of another person that I would want doing
yes,
this.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, I could see people saying, "Well, is this really necessary?" Like, it kind of ruins the mystique. But I'm completely in agreement with you that um, does it need to be told? Maybe not. But if you have someone like Ram V, who absolutely has the creativity, imagination, and storytelling ability to construct his own, I guess, take on the history of the old gods while keeping it fresh and new, then yes, absolutely. That's like why would you not try and do that?
Yeah.
And make it audience gathering. And I mean, the way I'm seeing it is like they're building up this lore. I don't think he's going to get it too complicated. Um, and they want to make a new Gods movie, right?
Well,
I think they
And
were going
they
to.
did. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
they had
think
that
that
plan.
what I think that once Supergirl comes out and everybody fucking loves it, I think that they may have him rework some shit with James Gunn if they're not already penning that stuff. I bet you that happens.
Well, you would be interested to know that one of the screenwriters tapped for that new Gods movie was
Is
Tom
Tom
King.
King. That's yeah, I know. That's why I brought up Supergirl, and that's why it's dependent on that. Which I know it's gonna do good because everybody loved that fucking story. It was so boring. It was so boring. Anyway, 8.5 out of 10 from me for that.
Right on.
Art. I mean, what do you even say, dude? I mean, like Brandon said, these are painting worthy. These are
Yeah.
definitely. You look at this and you'd be like, I want this in my bedroom or maybe my living room.
And again,
Yeah.
like more than probably any other run, I really appreciate that the art team consistently has been trying to, I don't know, I guess keep their own style. Like the thing I said in the first issue was that it wasn't trying to do that classic thing of we're doing a New God story, you gotta draw like Jack, and no one can draw like Jack. You can get really close or you can try, but
Yeah.
it's never the same.
But
And this
why?
book is like clearly there's so much inspiration from those original 11 issues, but it's very much like we're going to take our own, or we're going to provide our own feel on it, our own take on it, visually and story wise.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember me asking for this not too long ago, towards the beginning of the Birds of Prey run? How I was saying I wish they would draw Barda more like a regular person instead of so Jack Kirby esque and blocky and everything.
Oh yeah.
And Brandon yelled at me for it. Do you remember
Well, I mean, I like it. I like it when
that?
Jack does it because he created the fucking character. But not everyone has to do that. I also don't think she
Exactly.
should look
That's
like
what I'm
a
getting at.
supermodel or something. You know,
No,
like
I thought
Wonder
the way they
Woman,
drew her is like that
but
big.
bigger.
She was like a yeah, yeah,
And Wonder Woman
but
is already
not
pretty big.
bigger, but like very very brawn,
Yeah.
like yeah, Paul Bunyan esque
Yeah.
But I can forgive that because at
with
the end
less
of the day,
chest
she
hair.
is a warrior of apocalypse. So,
Yeah.
probably doing some pretty fierce exercises.
Just keep
Yep.
in mind, guys, she's an alien. Don't expect her to look like an Earthling.
Yeah.
Beefcake.
Yeah, beefcake.
Exactly. Beefcake.
That is that. If that doesn't put you in specific generations, I don't know what does. Somebody just said the
Right?
name
Oh
beefcake,
man, let
you're
me
gonna
tell you.
beefcake. Brandon,
I am the
do you even
Osmo
get that
3000.
reference?
What's up?
Do you get that reference?
I don't even. Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay,
Oh, it's from South Park. It's
we found the
Cartman.
idiot.
He went through
I've
a
never seen
whole. He
South
went
Park.
through a whole being a badass phase. And that was his
Not
catchphrase.
that a big bound. Beefcake.
Beefcake.
Yeah, I would call that the golden age of South Park. That was like the
I am the Osmo 3000.
look, guys, it's Casa
Wake.
Bonita. Look, Casa Bonita, guys.
Oh man, it's a mystery how they've been able to get away with so much. But now I absolutely love what they're doing with their every so often pop up out of the blue moon messages. They're like just fuck you to everybody.
Oh yeah.
Everybody that's rich anyway. I appreciate that. That is the mystery. Another mystery is in the watchtower. The question all along the watchtower, number 4. And I'll tell you guys about this one. Written by Alex Segura, art inside and out by Cayenne Torme and Raul Fernandez, with coloring from Rob Mielo Fiardo Jr. and Torme and Fiardo Jr. on the cover, and lettering by Willie Schubert. Wow, that was really hard for me to say. Pretty quick one here. Cyborg Superman and his group chat are in the control of the Watchtower. It comes alive, and he's got the Question and Batwoman and many others imprisoned or under mind control. Nightshade tells us that Jaime Reyes is dead, and old Hank doesn't care about winning now, just destroying. Hank's random attacks were meant to confuse the Justice League so that they would bring in help. Enter Renee, and now Renee and Batwoman get free because the Question was able to get into Animal Man's mind and reason with him through Maxine and Cliff. That's his son from way back in 2013. That was really cool. Something else that's really cool is it just so happens that the anniversary of Cliff's death is February 18th, which means that like he got mentioned in the same week that was the anniversary of his death. I thought that was really fucking cool. um, Anyway, they try to bring the fight but fail, and it ends with what I think is Hank getting into the Question's mind and starting some mind control bullshit, because here we see Jaime Reyes back, and surely Segura wouldn't contradict himself within the context of 14 pages. I really like this. I love the way it looks. I love the way it's colored. I love the way it's written. I've thoroughly enjoyed this and every issue so far. I hate that it's a miniseries. 8.75 out of 10.
I agree with everything you said. From the second that they said Jaime Reyes is dead, I knew that was Patsy. There's no fucking way they're killing off Jaime Reyes. Um, at least like that off panel. That's just rude.
That's just rude.
Yeah. This series continues to
What kind of
impress
dirt does
me.
that?
Continues to make me happy, and I also wish it was more than just a mini series, but we can't always get what we want. So
Can't always get what you want.
yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
just
yeah.
might find you get what you need.
Yeah.
Yep, which was a fucking New Gods book written by Ram V. I'm just saying. I know we're back there, but that's something I needed. All done.
Yeah.
I also needed this one, but I didn't want to leave that out.
Yep. I enjoy the art. I really like the story. I do hope it can find a way to continue somehow, or at least give us more of the Question investigating crimes on the Watchtower.
Please.
That is just hella dope. It's going to get an 8.5 from me.
Yeah. Also an 8 point. Actually, no. I think I gave this 8.25. But yeah, continues to be a book that I also wish was continuing. I know it's a story mainly focused on the Watchtower, but like I just want to see what else Renee Montoya, the Question Sheriff of the Watchtower, will get up to, or maybe an arc where she goes back down to Hub City in her free time. I don't know, something. Something.
I'm
sticking
thinking
to
like
this
there are
book.
times where they're like picking her brain, other times where she's solving crimes, other times where she's like almost like a social worker, like she was trying to do with Airwave. I feel like that she could fill a lot of roles, and there's a lot of stories that could be had because Renee Montoya isn't just the Question, but she's also somebody that's been through some incredibly deep stuff, a lot of bullshit. I mean, the Blue Wall was a hell of a fucking story, man. That fucked somebody up, and she's been through even worse than that.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of relation. There's a lot of badass story that could be built off of that. Just leave the book running. Doesn't have to be a crime every time.
I agree. I also, as a final point, want to say I love this cover.
Fuck
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
Don't forget, you guys have to pick a favorite cover at the end of the show. That's a new thing now.
Right.
Remember. All right, what's up next?
Remember
Did everybody give a score? Rob, did you?
that.
You
I gave
didn't
my
yet.
score, yes.
Oh,
Yes.
well, okay then.
Uh,
I guess.
That's it.
I guess that's
Time
it.
to head to the Big Apple. I mean, I'm already here, but you guys can come if you want.
Rob said Titans Towers, but really it's Titans Tunnels.
Yeah.
And this is Titans in Love.
Brandon, you stayed out
Or
of Central Park
Titans
this week, right?
Bunker. I did stay at Essential Park this week, and it's a good thing I did
Yeah. Could
because
have just been kissing somebody right next to you.
I could have just been kissing some random person,
Yeah.
and
That
probably
would
not
have
good.
been either horrible or amazing.
Horrible because if my girlfriend were to find out, I would be in hell. So let's say.
Yeah, that's-
than
How do you
stellar.
know it wasn't there with your girlfriend?
oh,
What is your subconscious telling you, Brandon?
Well, probably because she would have been at work if I was at Central Park at the time. Although it would have been cool to see Beast Boy,
yeah.
I think.
Because you would have totally made out with him.
You might need to buy me dinner first.
What about lunch? Like roast beef sandwich at a deli? That sounds like Garfield.
No,
I'm
Garfield is a
thinking-
vegetarian.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I was thinking
I
more
mean-
like an apple or something. Cheap
Yes,
green
like-
themed food.
Spend $1 on me, baby. I'm yours.
All right, you've heard it already. You see the cover. This is Titans number 20, and these Titans are in love. And
Everybody got the love bug.
I really appreciate this cover. I really do.
You really appreciate this cover?
I don't know if this is John Layman's idea or what, but it's feckin' brilliant. It's got that classic romance book style, and it's hilarious.
I hate it.
You hate it?
I fucking hate it. Oh god, it's everything I hate about it. Yes, absolutely. This is cheesy comic book. You know how I am about date books, though.
Yeah, but this isn't really a date issue. This is.
No, it's not really a
Yeah.
date issue, but the cover is a date issue cover.
The
I
cover,
mean,
the cover's more
that's
like
just
an
a fun
homage
gimmicky
to
thing.
50s
Yeah.
romance books.
Yeah, young romance, young
Yeah.
love, that kind of crap.
How can I help? I'm just a giant green gorilla.
Will she
Young-
still love
Young
me?
Justice in love.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
Young
no,
Heroes in love.
my half demon empath girlfriend. Well, that's very relatable. We all have one of those, am I right?
and I'm hurt
Standing there
going
with his
bananas.
fucking buck ass teeth, looking at her all dirty. That shit's oh my god, it's so cartoonish. It's
He
hilarious.
plays a lot of video games. I'm sure his gorilla's inspired by Donkey Kong.
That could be. We are talking about Gar.
Exactly. Anyway, interior of the issue. This is written by John Loverboy Layman with art and cover from Pete Winsome Woods. I don't know what the hell that means. Letters from West Amorous.
That's a name, dude.
No, Winsome.
Winsome Woods.
No, that's
Just
it's not his actual middle name. It's like
no.
in quotations.
Oh
Winsome.
well,
It's written as
yeah.
one word. I don't know that word. Winsome.
Maybe he wins some.
I guess.
Not all of them. He's not winning. He don't drink tiger blood. He just wins some.
He just went
Right.
half tiger blood.
Right.
Yeah. So we open our issue first page with the text box that says "uh oh," and we see none other than Donna Troy and Roy Harper kissing. Uh oh.
Oh.
Boy, everyone's favorite on again, off again romance.
Yeah.
Although it has been a while.
I read this morning, and the first thought in my head was, I can't wait to hear Brendan talk about this.
Oh god, it's like I feel like fucking Mario, and I see this, and I'm like, here we go again. Like, all right,
Yeah.
what is this? The fifth time, the sixth time? Literally every. I'm not even
Every
shitting
decade,
you when I'm
right?
saying almost every single Titans run has that issue where Roy and
Donna.
Donna can't help themselves. They're just
Yeah.
too horny for it.
I
Why can't I quit you?
It's happened at least every decade, hasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, well, maybe the Rebirth Titans didn't have that necessarily, but there was very much the, oh, I still want Donna to like me, but then Donna accidentally kisses Wally, so he gets mad. And I'm like, you guys are like almost in your 30s. Are we still doing this teenage crap?
Clearly, we are, because the Titans are in love, as you can tell.
That's when I'm like, are we sure this isn't still called the Teen Titans? Because you're acting like teenagers.
Oh, you think that's bad? Wait to see how it happens, because we jumped to 10 minutes earlier, where Roy comes in to talk to Donna, who is the team leader, of course, and says, look, we need to talk about Raven. I know I've been bringing it up a lot, but we need to talk about it. It's getting worse. I can feel it. You know it. Shit's happening all over the place. People are getting angry every time she's angry, and all sorts of stuff is happening. Gar told a really stupid joke, and then we all started laughing, and she started laughing. It's not even that funny a joke, yada yada yada, right? So she keeps brushing him off because it's Roy Harper, and he bitches all the fucking time. He gets annoyed, says, "Damn it, you're not listening." They get in each other's faces, and then take a moment, and then the kiss happens. And then they push each other off, saying that was a mistake, never happened. No, forget it ever happened, already forgotten, yada yada. And then
of
we
course.
see Starfire, Cyborg, and Nightwing off to the side, saying sorry for the interruption, insinuating that they saw everything. But we don't know for sure what they saw, but they certainly make it seem like they did. However, Nightwing is there to say that we have a mission. Friend of mine in the NYPD, which I'm curious, did he ever work for the New York Police Department in the comics, or was that just in the Titans TV show?
He was a member of the Bloodhaven Police Department.
I remember that. Yeah. I guess New York was just in the show. I'm curious
Yeah.
if he was a friend in the NYPD, maybe from his BPD.
It could be, I mean, I doubt he still works there, but I know in the original New Teen Titans, I want to say it was King Faraday was like his contact at the Force. It was King Faraday. There was Adrian Chase, who obviously became Vigilante later.
Yeah.
And
King Faraday joined Checkmate.
yeah. So I don't know.
Jesus, I didn't know King Faraday was a freaking police officer.
Cop. Yeah. I don't think Checkmate had even been created yet. I could be wrong about that too.
Well, I know he joined Checkmate during that whole Infinite Crisis stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's some wild stuff anyway. But yeah, no, he has a friend on the Force who mentions that there is some trouble in Central Park, and this is why I told Brandon, hopefully he didn't go to Central Park this week, because it would have been a bad idea, because in Central Park. And as Nightwing says, probably best to keep this in the family, so keep it away from the Justice League. Half hour earlier, we see Raven and Garfield walking through Central Park. Just talking, having a little walk through the park as a couple, being all cute and shit, and talking about her empathic powers going a little haywire. Garfield reassures her that he will be with her every step of the way, and she gets a little cutesy on him, but then gets hit in the head by a basketball from some goons off to the side that just played a little too rough. Garfield steps in, being the ever careful and loving boyfriend he is, tells him to be careful, somebody could get hurt, and the big burly guy, coincidentally, Josh mentioned Paul Bunyan earlier. This guy looks a lot fucking like him, but a bit more like an asshole. Gets in Garfield's face.
For sure.
Tells him to back off. Somebody could be hurt as you. Raven, obviously, being the ever-loving girlfriend, is gonna get pissed off, but she's trying to make sure she stays calm and stays calm, but it doesn't work. Garfield gets pissed off, turns into a giant green gorilla, as you can see on the cover, and begins to take on these bullies as a giant green gorilla. Raven gets in the way, tells him to resist the anger, and because it's making her even more mad, which makes everyone else mad, so she says you have to quokka yourself. Quokka yourself now. And for those that don't know, a quokka is a
Quacka.
very, very, very cute, if not the cutest animal in the world, only second to a red panda. From Australia, it's a marsupial, and if you've never seen
It's
one,
cuter than a red panda.
these things have a constant smile. And it makes it so much cuter. If you like, go Google a picture and just thank yourself.
A smile that never goes away, like the Joker.
Exactly, but not like the Joker. These ones didn't carve it into their flesh or take some poison gas that made them smile. There's naturally happy creatures. It's so fucking cute. So he turns into a quokka, which makes
Quokka, quokka.
Raven very happy, and then makes everybody else very happy in turn, and they all like go gaga over the quokka. So then, once the crowd has dispersed, Beast Boy transforms back into his normal self, and him and Raven share a kiss just as the Titans arrive via boom tube and find that everybody around them in Central Park is also sharing a kiss with basically whoever is closest to them.
It is
Not
a
great.
Central Park cuddle puddle.
Puddle? It'd have to be a puddle. From what I
It
understand,
did if it was
Park
gonna
is-
rhyme.
Could have been a cuddle huddle. Cuddle kerfuff.
What do you want?
Not bodily fluids. I don't want that.
The poetry writes itself, Rob. I can't help you.
Poetry tells me what it needs. Alright, so the Titans are intervening, and Starfire is quick to make a distraction, flying into the sky and letting loose a whole bunch of beams of lights, which does distract the people, gets them off the idea of kissing the person next to them. And after that, Garfield does say, maybe we got a bit carried away. So Donna realizes maybe she needs to put a pedal to the metal on the plan she has for Raven. So they head over to Brooklyn, specifically to Mercy Hall. And if that name sounds familiar, that is the same place that Robin had his base of operations when he was running the quote-unquote Teen Titans, back when he was a bit of a sociopath and jailing people.
He said a bit. he was jailing villains and mind wiping them.
A bit of a sociopath.
Just a bit.
Okay, a bit more of a sociopath. He was already a bit of a fucking sociopath. He's a bit more of a sociopath.
Damien went full on Darkwing, dude.
He did. He really did. Yeah, they have taken it over and decided, well, at least under Donna's plans, is working with Star Labs to really bring the idea of Mercy back to Mercy Hall, where instead of it being a prison, an illegal prison at that. It is going to be a center for helping. There are still cells there, but the cells are only there to help people whose powers are going haywire. In fact, in one of these cells is Shimmer, who they fought in a previous issue after she was convinced that the Titans were out to get her, um, and things were going haywire with her powers. So Donna brought her here to get her help. It's not really a cell. She has a fully um, furnished room, nice comfy bed, beautiful windows. It's a nice place for her to get better and get the help she needs. At this lab is also Bumblebee, aka Karen, whose name I don't, or last name I don't remember because I keep saying Karen Star in my head. I'm thinking that's not the right Karen. Um, but yeah, no, this Karen Bumblebee is the lead scientist and has some equipment that will help Raven potentially get better. The hypothesis is that when her soul self rebonded with her physical self, um, because it was months apart, excuse me, the mind had kind of split, and now that the minds have rejoined, the bulk part of her mind does not know how to deal with these extra emotions. So it's basically just shutting them off and leaving them kind of wild. And that's why all these problems with her empathic abilities are springing up. So Bumblebee's machine is supposed to basically relax the nodes in her brain, put them to sleep for a little bit so they could just reconfigure and heal. And in theory, it should work because it isn't quite ready. It hasn't been tested yet. But Donna says we really should try it because things are getting a little out of hand. So Bumblebee hooks her up, and then as she asks everybody to step outside, um, Roy Harper says he wants to join her at the control panel, so she wants to see this doohickey of yours in action, in his words. But then we see some text boxes from Roy Harper saying, by the way, that's not me. I was knocked out in Central Park. That person is just a figment of everyone's imagination, as is Bumblebee, because the whole thing is being orchestrated right now by none other than Psychopirate. And that is where our issue ends. Psychopirate is in charge of the controls at Mercy Hall, and the Titans are none the wiser. So that's where our issue ends. This whole thing with Raven is, I think, has been a very interesting choice of story. Um, I obviously don't know every single Titan story that's ever happened. Characters like this, I feel like there's limited kind of stories you can do with their powers going haywire. So I want to say at some point in the past 35 years, Raven's powers must have gone haywire like this at some point, but I could be wrong.
Yes.
It has.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
That's just something in the back of my mind. It's like it has to happen at some point. But no, I
Yeah.
still
I
appreciate
mean,
this story.
maybe not to the degree of affecting people as profoundly, although I do recall a scene from uh, Jeff Johns' Teen Titans where her emotions could then influence others' emotions or something like that. But yeah, usually when her powers are going haywire, it's like death and destruction. So this is
Yeah,
more like a light version of it.
yeah, it's a little nicer. It's not so much Azarath and dark magic. This is just emotions.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's a nice little touch. I think it's an interesting little story, and I like the way it's being presented. I'm no stranger. I've not been quiet about it. I'm a fan of John Layman. Um, Not everything he's done has been great, but he wrote one of my favorite indie comic books ever. So I will always give him the benefit of the doubt going into a story. And so far, I really like this one. Um, of all the stories he's written, this story with Raven might be my favorite aspect. Just to start Raven and Garfield as a couple, I think is such an interesting choice. I know it's been been a thing for a while now, but I love the pairing. I think it's a great idea. And even though this isn't a date issue, it's still a lot of fun. And as I mentioned, I love this cover, and it is a very strong contender for my favorite cover of the week. Sorry, Josh. All right, I'm really enjoyed the art as well. Really well drawn out. Facial expressions at some points felt a little over the top, but I still enjoyed the art otherwise. I'm going to give this an 8.75 5 out of 10.
What about you, Brandon?
I don't know. This was a really fun issue. It's hard with this run because, on the one hand, I really like some of the character work that John Layman is doing. I still think Donna's voice isn't quite what I want, or something's a little off there, but he seems to have an affinity for Roy, which I like. Um, so the character work is mostly pretty
Me
good,
too.
and the story itself is like it's fun. You know, for a Titan story. If this were just any Titans run, I would be like, yeah, this is like a fun arc. You know, you just kind of sink your teeth in and enjoy. But it still feels like it's hard for me to completely sink my teeth into because, and I don't want to sound like a broken record, but there's this expectation that I had for the Titans to be this premier team based on everything that happened at the start of this run and Beast World, which I still haven't read, and you know everything that was kind of setting them up to be the premier team, and now it just feels like they've been demoted to other villain cleanup team. And I know they're still doing the stuff where they're teasing Deathstroke and rebuilding the society and everything, but I don't know. It feels like it's lacking that importance. That while I can enjoy the story, I'm wondering if it's not living up to the potential of the book. So it's hard for me to score it because I almost want to give it two scores where like I would give it just like an 8.25, 8.5 out of 10 for just pure enjoyment. Like I had fun with the actual issue, but like a 7 in terms of the story not living up to its potential. I don't know exactly how to describe it.
I was feeling the same way earlier when I was reading. I was thinking about Titans while I was working and just how every Titans series, not Teen Titans, specifically Titans, does feel like it's in an awkward place where we watch these guys grow up from teenagers, and when they were teens they had all these fun adventures. Now they're adults, they're not going to have fun adventures anymore, but they're not doing just regular superhero stuff either. It's like watching an episode of The Real World, but a little less drama, a little more superpowers, and it doesn't seem to work the same way. Like I've always enjoyed Titans, but it's never been my favorite book. And I get what you're saying. Like it doesn't have the same gravitas as some other team books might.
Yeah, I mean, again, like as a Titans fan, just the Titans disconnected from everything else, it's good, but in terms of the book's relevance to everything else that's going on in the DCU, it does feel like it's lacking that grander scope.
Yeah.
So I think that really is like kind of my only problem with it because I like as a Titans fan, it's good, but I don't know. Maybe I should stop having those expectations.
I don't blame you for having those expectations. I had the same ones, and that's basically what they promised going into this series. When Tom Taylor started it, it was supposed to be this is the premier super team. There was no Justice League. The Titans are the leaders, and then we got the same stuff that we always got.
Yank.
It's Titans doing
Yep.
Titan stuff, not Titans doing Justice League stuff. Right? It was less about saving the world and
It's
fighting big threats, and it was more about, well, here's Titans fighting Titans villains again, and Titans having like
well,
interrelated
it's
squabbles,
Titans.
and Titans being friends, and it was less about them being the premier super team. I think that was the problem. Like you said, like as a Titans book, it's great, and I agree. As a Titans book, it's fantastic, but as a book to replace the Justice League, it never really hit that mark.
Like if was a book that I mean I know they had a Titan series a few years ago, but like if this was an arc that was set comfortably within that rebirth era of reintroducing the Titans, like getting people more familiar with them, it would have like people would have been like, this book is great.
Oh
It
yeah,
feels like we're finally getting those characters back to where they are. But now that we've kind of gone past all that and we've reestablished, the Titans as a fixture in the DC universe after not having them for so long during the New 52, it feels like this is like you don't really need to do this anymore. I don't. Is that mean to say? I don't
no,
know.
I agree. I 100%
I
agree.
think the way that we're looking at it is, or at least the way that they're trying to look at it, is that the Titans are the Justice League. They're just the Justice League in their own way, and they're going up against crime syndicate, but it's the crime syndicate in like their own way. You know, it's two totally different new ways of shit that are going on the planet that they're going to be dealing with, rather than the cosmic shit that's going to be taking place with that Justice League, the real Justice League in the Watchtower and out of it. Because I mean, we're getting bombastic stories with everybody that's, you know, a major character right now, and I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. And the Titans are going to be basically like the Justice League of, you know,
Earth.
normal shit.
Yeah. I mean, for now, yeah, that makes sense. But when the series started, when Tom Taylor was writing it, and there was no Justice League, I definitely expect.
Do you think that that's Tom Taylor, or do you think that that's editorial taking the shit in a different direction?
Let's just say it's maybe a bit of both, but I don't know. Editorial really made it. I don't know. I'm never going to be able to comment on what happens behind closed doors, what happens in the offices, right? I couldn't tell you that.
Fails could have also been a factor. You never know.
Yeah, I want to say editorial had the idea of let's make Titans like a super team because we have no other super team, and Tom Taylor was like, I'll do it, or they gave it to Tom Taylor because he'd written super teams, and then he just didn't write a Justice League book with the Titans. He wrote another Titans book, which we were promised a Justice League book with the Titans. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, since John Layman took over and the Justice League come back, having another Titans book, great. Makes sense. But the first 17 odd issues, we were promised Justice League with the Titans.
Or just like, again, maybe not necessarily being the Justice League, but taking that place.
Yeah, no, that's what I
What
mean.
the just yeah. Oh yeah.
Have their adventures.
Yeah. Taking on those large, crazy world-ending threats, you know.
Yeah.
Honestly, maybe. I mean, no disrespect to Tom Taylor, but maybe that book didn't swing for the fences enough. I don't know. I mean, Beast World, from my understanding, you guys said was pretty good and pretty crazy, but like I'm thinking of, for all the flaws of that run, the first arc of the Jeff Johns Justice League is insane. Like it's going for everything in the first 6 issues. Like this is all we have. Let's just like go nuts. So yeah, Darkseid's gonna attack, and like we're gonna introduce all the members, and it's gonna be crazy, and like it's this world-ending threat. And I don't know, maybe that's like people kind of criticize that first arc, and rightfully so. There's some flaws, but maybe that's what you need to do. I don't know. Maybe that's how it works. You just need something that feels important, that is important, to really sell it, and then you can kind of continue from there.
I mean, no, I'm not sure in my head now.
What?
Like, I agree. I disagree. Like, yes, but it depends on how you're framing it. Like, should it be because that initial story arc with Jeff Johns' Justice League in New 52 needed to be so big because it needed to be a reason for that team to come together.
Right.
As much as I agree
Right.
that the Titans needed to have like bigger threats that they were fighting, as opposed to I don't even who did the fucking fight. Here's Trigon. It's a Thursday. Like they needed to have like bigger threats, like not necessarily world ending, but world threatening, like Justice League level threats, because there was nobody else to take on those threats. And let's face it, they were going to fucking happen anyway, but we never got any. But having a threat like Darkseid, like they had in Justice League, that level would feel, as much as like yeah, it would happen, having that kind of bombastic might be, dare I say, too much, because like I said, they did that for the Justice League to come together. but the Titans.
Right.
I mean, I feel like
together.
Darkseid is, reaching a bit much, but I mean, there could have been
Well, I
something,
mean,
some
but that's
aliens or some kind of black
that's sort of the point,
fucking
right?
dark
Like,
portal or
I know it seems too crazy, but wouldn't that really solidify the fact that they are the equivalent, if not the betters, of the Justice League to handle a threat
Yeah.
like that and overcome it with greater odds than the Justice League did?
Like Eclipso or Despero.
Yeah. Actually, that would have been cool. Like a
Yeah.
callback to that first issue of Justice League, not the Brave and the Bold origin issue, but like that first issue with Despero, I think it is.
Yeah. Like something like that to just come in and fuck shit up, and the Titans need to fight
Yeah.
harder than they ever fought before. But this time they have the knowledge.
Yeah, and the experience and the
And
credentials
the
to back them
power.
up. I think what I'm saying is just maybe it needed to think bigger. It needed to swing harder than it did.
Oh, definitely.
And maybe that's not Tom Taylor's style. So maybe he was not the best pick. Or and again, I'm not saying like in terms of the stories that we got, because there was some good stuff there.
no, but
but maybe
he's not a huge bang storyteller.
what I'm saying is like if you wanted the book to like go nuts and sell 100,000 units by issue 2, you probably needed someone who could swing that big. You know what I mean?
You needed Peter J. Tomasi.
You
Tell
needed.
me I'm wrong.
I would have been cool, but I can't really see him swinging that big either. I don't know. You needed Tawny Gates or someone like that.
Yes.
Like someone who's just gonna go crazy, and maybe it'll be kind of like a dud, but odds are it'll be big enough that people will be paying attention to it. You know what I mean?
Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah. Or actually,
Titans
Oh my
by
God.
Al
Boom.
Ewing.
in an alternate world, no, Josh, you don't even know how right you are because
I know I'm right.
because no, because Jonathan Hickman reportedly, by his own admission, based on several interviews I've listened to, was a huge fan of the new Teen Titans in the 80s. Like, bigger than X-Men.
Mm.
Nice.
And we're talking like Claremont X-Men. Yeah, we're talking like it was for him, the two premier books of the 80s were Keith Giffen's Legion and the new Teen Titans.
Jesus.
And I've always wondered what that approach would be. So
And
yeah,
that's
that
for
would have
him
been
bigger than Claremont's X-Men.
bigger than Claremont's X-Men.
And this is from the writer that basically revolutionized the X-Men.
Yeah. So imagine. I mean, I'm not saying we've gotten House of Titans, Power of Titans, as cool as that might have been, but it could have been. It could have been something more grand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean,
Yeah,
well,
like
it has
the
been
Justice
for-
League has a Trinity, and it could have been like Titan's Divinity or some shit like that.
Yeah. Or Titans Pentagram. Titans Pentagon. I don't know.
There
Yes.
has been rumors of Jonathan Hickman writing for DC at some point coming up, right?
That was years ago when
Yeah.
Bendis just left Marvel. There were rumors he was going to come in and do like people were saying Legion of Superheroes. People were saying Fantastic Four. People were saying Justice Society because they hadn't returned yet. Like
Right.
it was all speculation. And according to him, they did approach him, but it never got any further than that because I guess fucking what's his name, the president of Marvel called or something and was like, "We want you to do X-Men," and he was like, "Sold."
Yeah.
Done.
Well, now
Not even because like
So come on over to the
he
dark
necessarily
side.
loved X-Men more than the New Teen Titans, but I think because he'd written up this like really crazy off the wall X-Men thesis to hear him tell it, and they were basically like, "Yeah, you can do that. Like, do whatever you want," And that kind of freedom was
He's
just
like,
too rewarding.
whoa, you're better
Yeah.
at this than we are.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, he'd done Fantastic Four and Avengers, and they were both standout hits.
Yeah.
Some of the best versions of those books have come out in the past 20 years. So
I mean, that's why he's so applauded.
he could have written the worst X-Men plot you'd ever seen, and they probably still would have said go for it.
Well, if you talk to Claremont, that's what he will say. He was apparently not a fan of that new era.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, okay. That's what he said, like all the way back in 1920. 1920. Oh my God, I'm all over the place today.
wow.
2019, 2020. But when I saw Chris Claremont at C2E2 in 2022, he had completely like changed the script. He was just like, I just want to be back in the door. That was like, I got to talk about that. I think I did actually. That was like one of the craziest panels I've ever been to in my entire life because he was so unhinged and the moderators did not care at all. So he was just saying the most out of pocket shit I've ever heard. Their transcripts are online. It's like wild. He's talking about making Kitty Pryde the White Panther, but apparently it was too racist or something. And I was like, "What are you talking about? What is happening right now?" It's like 100 people in this room, and people can hear you. Anyway, I'm getting way off track.
Wow. Yeah, I gotta look up that transcript. You got me curious now.
I'll find it and send it to you.
um, but yeah, Jonathan Hickman writing Titans. That'd be cool. That would have done it for sure. But all in all, I still like this issue. What's your score, Brandon?
I don't even know. I gave it two scores. I gave it a 7 out of 10 and an 8.5 out of 10. So I am conflicted, let's say that.
Fair enough. Josh, et toi?
Um, the Crime Syndicate. I can't remember all. I think it's Deathstroke, Mammoth, Clock King, and Psycho Pirate so far. Right? Is that all of them?
Think so? I want to say
And
there's
Psycho
something
Pirate
else.
is obviously a big, huge thing about it. Now, every single book, every single issue since this story, this arc has kicked off, has made a point to say that we can handle this without the Justice League. And I can't help but wonder if that's a part of the mind control shit too. Um, I really dig the story. I know that it feels like it's been developing slowly. I feel like wrapping it up fast at this point would be a waste, though. I think it's good, and I want it to be a big, huge, cool version of the crime syndicate that I can enjoy that don't involve any of the members of the other crime syndicate, so it can just be wiped from existence. That would be wonderful. Um, so this gets an 8.25 out of 10.
Crime Syndicate never dies.
That's not true. They just did.
They always come back. How many times have they died?
You
They're like
They
Cobra
don't
Kai. They
have
never
to.
die.
They don't have to. They don't have to.
They don't have to die,
They don't have to come back.
but they will. Because 5, 10 years from now, somebody's gonna be like, "You remember that evil version of the Justice League? No, not that one. The other one from the other universe. Yeah, we should do that. That'd be cool."
Yeah, we're gonna call Wonder Woman Superwoman, and she's gonna be basically cucking redneck Superman the whole time.
Yeah.
Owl Man is a fucking bumbling bonehead. We're pretty sure that the Flash smokes crack.
No. Definitely.
I
Oh my
almost
God, I
hear his
missed
voice
that.
with like a Beavis voice when I'm reading his fucking dialogue.
Whoa.
I'm saying, like, you ever just have the voices come to you? You know, like when you're reading it, you hear a certain kind of voice as you're reading it. That's the voice I hear when I'm reading. It's horrible. Not this one though. 8.25 out of 10.
Right. Well,
Well, I mean Titans, and then we're going a solo act, right?
Yeah.
So
Wait, hang on. I gotta
was trying to figure out how to transition.
I gotta get myself together. I just realized I might have been insulted, but 2 years ago,
Oh.
What?
or indirectly. I don't know. I am just now discovering this Twitter thread of the panel I was talking about, the Chris Claremont panel from 2022. Someone was like live tweeting the whole thing, and this guy writes, question about ever working with John Bolton again. Claremont cackled and is now talking about Roman history. No idea if this is relevant. As established earlier, people are only here for X-Men, which basically means like this was a bullshit question. People only want to talk about X-Men. And I'm like, okay, but that was my question. I asked that question.
Holy
I asked
shit.
about the Black Dragon, and which is a series he did with John Bolton in the '80s, and I remember that very vividly. And now I'm like, what the? Oh, okay. I guess I didn't mean to derail the cover. Okay, I need to. I'm losing the plot here. Let's just talk about Nightwing before I
got
go
one question
insane.
though. One question. Did Claremont answer your question, or did he just cackle?
Oh no, he did answer the
He
question.
did answer the question. Okay.
I kind of
this Twitter
spaced
feed just
out.
has it out for you.
Yeah, I kind of spaced out after he went into the whole Roman history thing. But I do remember he was like, yeah, I came to him with the pitch and he said he was not interested or something like that. So anyway, that is bizarre. Let's talk about Nightwing, please. Nightwing number 123, written by Dan Waters, art by the impeccable Dexter Soy, as usual, colors by Veronica Gandini, and letters from someone. I didn't write it down. Letters by, where is it? Wes Abbott.
Letterer.
Yes, but I want to find his name.
Letters
Joshua.
by.
I was buying you time.
This issue opens up with a ad from mayor, or rather mayoral candidate Bisogni, who is kind of running a smear campaign on Mayor Grayson Lynn, saying that her irresponsibilities have led Bloodhaven to become the cesspool that it has become, showing footage of Nightwing working with the Flyboys as further evidence of this. This puts more pressure on Melinda to continue working with Olivia Pierce and Spheric Solutions in the hopes that developing their relationship will give Melinda the advantage she needs to maintain her position as mayor. We cut over to Nightwing's secret base where he is housing the Teddies, and has a little bit of a rather sobering moment with Keenan, one of the Teddies, who keeps insisting that there's no grand conspiracy behind everything that's going on with the gang wars, and that maybe it's just shitty people being shitty people. But Nightwing, of course, ever seeking the truth, does not believe this, and that is when, making his way across town, he is made aware of an alert being summoned by one of the Flyboys, by Oracle, so makes his way over to the secret lab of the Flyboy, or secret lair of the Flyboys, all the while giving us more backstory as to their origins. Originally, a drug manufacturer, Dr. Proboscis, came upon a revelation to enhance the effects of the drug and make them more susceptible to the impact of the drugs. It would affect them more drastically, while also giving them aspects of super strength and mutations so that they could serve as Dr. Proboscis' enforcers, and thus the Flyboys were born, just as Nightwing arrives at the tunnel to see Flyboys that are more dramatically mutated than ever before, some of whom are lying there dead, but others now more mutated and more deadly than ever, as we see Nightwing come face to face with one of them, who looks like a roided out ambush bug. So Nightwing is, I mean, am I wrong? He's got the antenna
No,
and the
you are
eyes and
not.
everything.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, you're
Ambush
that was
bug
great.
has been hitting the gym. But Nightwing manages to get the upper hand on this one particular Flyboy, knocking him unconscious. But his victory is short-lived, as he is soon chased by a number of them. making his way into a secret lab where he comes face to face with one of the former assistants of Dr. Proboscis by the name of Crystal, who had been just working on the formulas and developing the more potent version of the drugs had um, that they had been using lately. Um, and so Nightwing, now seeing the effects of this and the effects of everything else that's happening in Bloodhaven, but particularly just how horrible the Flyboys had become in terms of their mutations. Nightwing is really put in a hard place and is kind of wondering what to do next, while Mayor Grayson Lynn, in a similar position, is forced into a dark corner and is wondering what she has to do next, promising that she will do anything and everything to not only protect the people in her care, but to protect her city, putting them in a rather dangerous situation, which we'll have to pick up on in the next issue. Yeah, what to say about this run? It's dark, it's mysterious, the art perfectly captures the moodiness of everything that's going on. But above all, there's a level of humanity to the story that, like with Tom Taylor's run, really helps you connect with the darker aspects of the story in such a genuine way. And I think that's what I really appreciate more than anything. Like, yeah, we get the exposition on the Flyboys, and it's pretty horrifying, but to actually be there and see these horrible mutated versions, like, it's very disturbing. And this run is doing a great job at showing very disturbing things, which is not something that I like saying. But yeah, other than that, uh, other oh, sorry, my headphones are going crazy. Yeah, no, other than that, really enjoyed this issue, and looking forward to seeing what crazy decisions Melinda and Dick have to make in next month's issue.
Well, yeah, this story arc's been a weird one, but I'm enjoying it. It's a little different. It's not what I would have expected from a first story arc, but I'm definitely going to see where it ends before thinking it might be a little weird. At least for Nightwing, Nightwing's been very, I don't want to say bombastic, but very heavy at times, a little more gravitas ever since it started in Rebirth. Like with this numbering, I mean. So for this first story arc, doesn't feel too heavy, but I'm definitely enjoying it. It's a very interesting take on Nightwing protecting Bloodhaven. Um, but yeah, no, this I 100% agree that this issue also very disgusting. The
Yeah,
Flyboys are messed up. And I know it doesn't have anything to do with it, but I see these guys and I can't help but feel I can't help but think about the splicers from Batman Beyond. Anytime I see a human animal hybrid, it just makes me
but
think of Neo
much
Gotham.
less fashionable than these
Yes.
splicers.
Yes.
Like, these are not people that you would want to, have on a modeling stage.
Oh
They're
hell no.
like freak
Hell no.
shows.
Definitely not these guys. They will blind you with acid and their face. Um, No, it's a very interesting issue, cool premise. This whole thing that they got going on is very interesting, and I'm loving that Melinda Grayson or Grayson Lynn Grayson, whatever her last name is.
Grayson
Like
Lane.
Grayson Lynn.
Sorry, I forgot I was muted. Yeah.
I like that she's still around. I like that she's still a
Well, I mean, she's the
integral
mayor.
part. Yeah, but they could just say that she's doing mayoral shit in the background, not like a
Oh,
big
yeah, they could have Renee
plot point
Montoya
of the
her.
story. Yeah, that they still have her like being an integral part of the run. I like that Dan Waters incorporated her very well into that, because it would have felt like a cop out for Tom Taylor to introduce Nightwing having a half sister, and then the next writer just like, yeah, that's all we're gonna write about that. Like, no, she's still around. That's gonna be a big part of Dick's life still. So yeah, we're very curious to see how that's gonna go. This is going to get An 8.75 out of 10.
Right on. Well, I'm gonna tell you right out the bat. Light bright Nightwing is fucking cool. That I
Yeah.
loved the way that that looked, and I feel like this is almost it's almost like a semi future state story. I'm getting those kind of vibes. I'm just a sucker for this. We even got a classic Dick Grayson quip. It feels like Prime Waters. It's getting the very best of his kind of story. I like it a lot. Art's really good too. 8 out of 10.
Agreed.
Oh yeah. Jesus, Brandon, will you shut the fuck up? God, I mean, you don't have to sit there and rave about
Uh,
it. You
what
got a
else is
number for us?
yeah, what else is there to say? Oh, I don't know if I gave my score, but
You didn't. You just said
I,
agreed.
uh, well, I guess I finished giving my review, so I forgot to give the score. I don't know. I guess I'd also give this one a 8.75 out of 10.
Hell yeah.
Can I be
Hell
honest
yeah.
with you? Sometimes I'll read these books and I just don't think at all about a score.
Yeah,
Maybe I
sometimes
shouldn't be
I'm
saying
like,
this
oh
on the
shit.
air, but I just like I'll walk away from it. I was like, yeah, that was really good, and I'll just kind of let
Yep.
it sit that way, and I never think about a score until we start recording. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta. All right,
Well,
what am I thinking about this? How do I rate it? You know?
the series that I really like, I always read twice because the first time I'm reading it because I'm enjoying it and I know I'm gonna go in there with rose-colored glasses on. There's always that fucking chance. So then I read it again to find anything that I have a problem with. So I'm not sitting there giving everything a 9.5. I don't want to do that.
Right.
So those ones I read twice, and then the ones I hate I read once, and I do it slowly or as fast as possible. Sometimes you got to do them in chunks,
Yeah.
the bad ones. Well, I guess you guys just don't read the bad ones. That's true.
Well, if it's bad, I'll stop reading it.
Yeah.
Well, I
I'm a
punish
glutton for
myself.
punish. I'm
I
a
mean,
masochist.
I still flip through Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Maybe that one I do punish myself a little bit.
And sometimes it's fun to hate read.
Or just see what the hell is going on because I hadn't really been keeping up with it.
Sometimes shit just make no sense.
Damn straight.
All right, that is it for Nightwing. Yeah.
It is. So you know what that means? I'm just gonna do it, right? This is just Alakazam. I got a soundboard back. um, written, drawn, inside and out, and colored by Jamal Campbell and lettered by
Oh
Ariana
man,
Barr.
I'm so excited for this one.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So this number one kicks us off with a fable-esque princess story in which a princess couldn't stop her shadow from crying. So with help from Magi, they remove the shadow from her, and then they become sisters, princesses of light and dark. Then we go to Zatanna getting ready to perform, doing some tongue twisters beforehand, as stage performers typically do. But it's because she's always getting ready to perform. They haven't even started practice yet. She's at a very famous magic hall and producing what she calls a traditional Zatara magic show. One of the legends that performed at the club was called the Lady White, and one day she just vanished in a mist and never returned. We learned that from a crew member, and then that's who gets pulled into the astral plane by Lady White, him and some others. Zatanna goes in and sends Andre back, and then goes after Arnie, leading to a Lady White performance. It was a little weird. She sends Arnie going back to realize that Adam, a co lead of hers, who accidentally almost stabbed her, is still there. She tracks down Lady White, forces her to say why she went after her crew, and is told that it is just to see her face at this very moment, which is when magically mind-controlled Adam stabs her through the chest from behind with a glowing orange sword. Lady White then makes a strange phone call after making that glowing orange sword go red, and like a whole lot of it didn't look like it felt good. She tells someone that it has been done. Z lays on the ground still, ran through with the sword, curled up in the fetal position, and not moving. During that phone call, there was some stumbling around of words, and did it almost feel like they were saying Zatara?
Almost, yeah.
So, like, her dad?
Well, who was the teenage magic user that was in Teen Titans?
Tempest.
Not no the
Are you talking about like the?
Zatara-
Oh, Zachary Zatara.
Oh, okay. That was
Zachary
it.
Zatara.
What is
Interesting.
It did look like him. I was very confused at first, but it's not him. That we know of.
Alright. Well, I hope nobody's out there complaining about the plethora of Zatanna speak in this book. Nothing else would make sense. It's not hard to read at all. So,
backwards.
but the book is damn good. It's a really cool setup, and I can't wait for next month. Campbell knocks it out of the park in every sense. And I mean, even I'm gonna say good things about the letterer here. Maher sells it. It's a solid setup issue, and I'm giving this a 9. That's never been. I've never given a setup issue a 9 before ever. A number one is getting a 9. But yeah, so there you go.
Man, if you're giving this a 9, I'm giving this a 9.25. This is like easily my favorite issue of the month.
Yo,
Not just because I love Zatanna, not just because I'm super excited for a Zatanna solo series, not just because it's Jamal fucking Campbell doing one of the best, if not the best, Magic character in the DCU. But all of that combined is just a great first issue. And it's like, if you are looking
It's
to
phenomenal.
get into a Zatanna solo story that captures all of the great stuff about her, that she's a performer, that she's a consummate magician, maybe musician too. I don't know. Like
she's
this
a bit
is
of a
it.
control freak.
Bit of a control freak, but also
She's
very
she's
caring.
just as dubious as John, which is why they hit it off so well. She's just got some more morals.
Yeah, maybe. And also, like, I mean, maybe it's not so much at the ending because she does die or get stabbed at least, but like up until that point, Zatanna is taking care of business. Like you can see why she's
Hell
a
yeah,
fucking
she is.
Justice League. So,
Yep.
yeah, like you said, in terms of a setup issue, this thing executes it perfectly and really just
Yep.
captures the heart and essence of Zatanna. But like for me, the selling point is the art. It is, God, like just
That was true.
Yeah, I mean,
so good. I
it's
love
been
seeing Jamal
so.
Campbell draw Zatanna, and I'm such a sucker for when an artist really, it's such a like comic book guy thing to say, but when an artist really does, like Simpsons comic book guy, but like when an artist really does their homework and you can tell it's a character they really like, they get all the costumes right. And when I looked at that flashback page to
Yeah.
the Bronze Age Justice League, I was like, I know Jamal Campbell fucking loves Zatanna because everyone here is picture perfect. It was like Dick Dillon drew it
Yep.
himself. It was fucking excellent. So yeah, I love this book. Okay, I'll shut up now.
No, it really is that good. What did you think, Rob?
I 100% agree with everything. I was like a little on the fence going into it because I do love Jamal Campbell, and Zatanna is a very cool character, but the magic stories are never really my big cup of tea. I usually get a little lost in them, but this one just grabbed my attention from the get go. and never lost it. It was very thorough. It was to the point. It wasn't too over the top. It was really well done. I should expect nothing less from Jamal Campbell, quite honestly. This is also getting a 9 out of 10 for me.
Yeah.
Good,
And
good,
this is
good, good,
apparently
good
his
stuff, man.
first like ongoing series that he's writing and drawing, which is
Oh, damn.
just
Oh,
blows my
whoops!
mind.
I forgot to
I
show
wish
the
I had
cover
that kind
for
of talent.
Satana. My bad, Satana.
I thought he would have done another one at least.
The only other thing I know that he wrote and drew was the Nightwing two-part story in Urban Legends, which is pretty cool. Anyway, this cover doesn't.
I
say
don't
that
even
at all.
remember that story. Dang. What was it? What was it about?
Ooh, it was like some kind of like movie fan or something that had captured Nightwing. It's been a while since I read that.
Film
one, but I
Freak?
think it might be Film Freak. No.
It was
No,
Film
no.
Freak, right?
Wait, no. I don't think it was.
The second one. It was the younger dude.
Oh.
He's like a sociopath,
Let me see.
right?
22. The director.
The director.
That was the director. I'm just reading a review. The director, a villain with a penchant for staging and recording. Yeah, it was like a film fan. I remember that much at least, but I haven't read that since it came out, and this was
All right. So it's just
almost
like
3
Film
years
Freak.
ago. Yeah, but I remember like the art, if anything, was incredible. So
Well, I mean, we would have reviewed it. I just don't remember it.
yeah.
That was back when we were doing every issue, I believe.
We might have dropped Urban Legends at that point. I don't remember, but
Oh yeah,
I'm sure it
we
would have
did.
been an honorable mention at that point.
For sure. All right, everybody give their account of Zatanna.
I believe we did.
All right. Drum roll. Top three. Oh, whoops. It's on loop. My bad. Top three. I can go ahead and give mine first. Number 3 is New Gods. It's awesome. I am so excited to read everything that's going to happen. I don't care how long it takes for it to happen. Rom V has this. Number 2 is going to be The Question. I love this book. It's awesome. And number 1 by far is Zatanna. Absolutely awesome. I'm gonna go with my favorite moment being with the cool little thing where his Cliff Baker's death is is February 18th, and this is like it comes out on the week that happens, that he gets mentioned, and that's pretty cool.
Is that when that issue of Rot World came out? I wonder. One where Cliff died. I don't know. That would be a crazy coincidence.
He died in number 18.
No, I was asking for the date. Do you know?
Yeah, give me 1 second. 2013.
Oh, well, was it February 18th, 2018, or no?
May 2013.
Never mind then.
Written by,
Jeff
well,
Lemire.
yeah, it was Grant Morrison, yeah?
No. Cliff died during the Jeff Lemire run, if I'm not mistaken. That would have been the end of Rot World.
Yeah. Whoa. No, Grant Morrison created him.
Yeah, back
Dirt.
in the original Animal.
Yeah.
I thought you
That's
said
my
it was
bad.
the anniversary of his death, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant, and I got some shit confused. My bad. Sorry.
Oh, good.
So yeah, it'll be the tribute to Cliff Baker's death, and weirdly enough, it's like documented February 18th. And my favorite cover is gonna be the New Gods. Jesus, that was great. Um, Let me flip it to you so y'all can see what I mean. That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave that up there until somebody tells me theirs. Who's going next?
Oh, no, go ahead.
You sure? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for me, it's gonna be. This is. I don't even know which order to put it in. It might have been New Gods, but I didn't get to mention before. I've been sick as a dog all week, and just starting to read New Gods, I did not have the mental capacity to wrap my head around what was going on, so I did not get to finish it because I couldn't quite follow it. But I imagine New Gods would be my top three if I did have the brain power to actually read it. Um,
He's like, I'm pretty sure I would have liked this shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
Rob, you know what? I believe
like,
that. That I don't
what
think
I
that that
did.
is a weird answer
Yeah,
because of how much you love cosmic shit. I
yeah,
have no doubt in
yeah.
that.
The parts that I did read, and I did like kind of flip through the last half of the book just to try and get a gist. Um, which with an issue like this, I think is impossible to get a gist just by flipping through it. But it did look very interesting, um, and I can't wait till my mind is at full capacity so I can actually sit down and enjoy this one properly. So I will put that as a tentative, quote unquote, number three for now. Honorable mention for my top three. At number three, I'll put Titans, and then number two will be Nightwing. Number one will be Zatanna. Um, with
Because it's beautiful.
I don't know about a favorite moment. My favorite moment might just be Zatanna showing up and being that cocky performer. Like I woke up ready to perform. Like I've known so many people like you. I've seen people like you all the time, and I love it. Favorite cover though, I have to give it to Titans. It's a
That
brilliant,
cow,
brilliant homage.
that cow tongue twister is something else. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Did anybody else try and sit there and do it for a while?
I've
Maybe
done
like
it.
2 or 3 times.
It's
But even just reading it the first time was like, what the fuck?
yeah,
My brain.
yeah. It's a crazy one. Um, no, my favorite cover definitely going to Titans. I love that homage to the classic romance titles. Um, just a fun little thing. If you don't like fun, you won't like the cover. That's fine. I joke.
So
Kid.
anti-fun.
I kid. I know you're not anti-fun.
I mean, I might be a little anti-fun.
Let's just say he's a deputy of the fun police. We'll leave it at that. Not full like anti-fun government ruling anti-fun executive orders. Like a loose connection to the
Loose connection.
anti-fun police.
Just here to help keep
The
shit in
deputy
line.
director
Exactly.
of the FBI of fun.
He'll throw
What
you
FBI?
a ticket every now and then.
The fun bashing incorporation or something like that.
Yep. That's me. Ta-da.
I'll call you a Red Lantern because you hate love. You're opposite.
I don't hate love.
You're the
I love love.
opposite of the spectrum.
Nope.
Then you have to be a Star Sapphire. And you have to wear like a skimpy bikini.
No, there's got to be some kind of a lantern that has some of the emotions and not all of the emotions. It's like a white lantern
Sorrow.
minus some.
Sorrow Lantern, maybe.
Oh no, I don't want the makeup.
Anyway, Brandon, sorry, what is your top three?
My top three are pretty straightforward. At number three, I've got Nightwing. At number two, I've got New Gods. But topping the charts, the sensation of the week has to go to Miss Zatanna Zatara and Zatanna number one. Incredible issue, incredible art. What is there to say? Favorite? Hmm. Favorite moment? It's hard to say because the art in these week's books was truly spectacular, but there was
It
something
really
so
was.
delightful about Mr. Miracle's smug ass expression in the last page of the New Gods just being like, "Oh, you guys are so fucked. My wife is going to kick your
Yeah,
ass." Oh
you don't
god.
even know that.
You don't even know. You guys are so screwed. But favorite cover has to be Zatanna #1. Like again, if that doesn't sell you on it, I don't know what will.
Yeah.
That's good shit, is it not? I like it.
Well, I can't help but like be a little curious because it's following the same suit as the other #1s during this initiative, where it's a white background with a logo and then a single shot of the main character. And the Zatanna cover has that, but then it has this giant purple section. And I can't figure out what the hell that's supposed to be because everything else is just a pure white background.
I don't know that I paid that much attention to it, but
And I
To the
just saw the
background of
message
the
and
Zatanna cover?
just saw it when Josh had it on screen. It just stuck out at me like, huh, what is
yeah.
that purple
I mean,
thing?
I see the Z obviously, but I kind of assume that was like a curtain or I don't
Oh,
know.
maybe a curtain.
Hold on a second. We can take a look.
Yeah, you can look at it again when it gets on screen and see what I mean. It just kind of looked a little off. Like somebody hit the paint can on Photoshop and just filled in a section of white that they weren't supposed to.
There we go.
There.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the
I want to
top
say
left corner or quadrant, if you will. Yeah, like
over here.
over here. Yeah, all that purple background there just kind of
Yeah.
seems weird.
I think, well, look, man, it's kind of like an artistic flair from her jacket, I want to say, you know. That's the
Maybe.
big Z, and it's just kind of like, instead of being solid white, it's just. Because Zatanna doesn't really have a fucking emblem, you know what I mean?
No,
So I
but that's
think
what
I
they
think
have
he
the
just
Z
had fun
in
with
the
it.
background there.
Hmm?
They do have the Z in the foreground or the background logo. Yes, Brandon, I said
Yeah,
Z.
she's kind of
I,
sliding
I
on
I'm
it.
not even gonna give you the satisfaction because
I
you said a
I
dirty
heard
word.
you go.
You said a dirty word, and you should not be acknowledged for that.
I'm
I
sorry.
missed it. What was it?
It's the Canuck in me. I can't help it.
No, silence.
It's because I said Z.
Ugh.
Oh, stop it. This guy sat there and called it Task Force Z the entire time. And I
Yep.
mean,
12
it's like,
issues. 12 issues of
it's
hell.
like, you know, not
And that
all
book
of
was
our
about
listening
zombies.
audience can speak Canadian.
Rob, you somehow managed to make the book
Speak
about
English, foreigner.
zombies like less terrifying.
Zadamis. Zadamis.
Well, they're not called zombies.
Well, you,
Checkmate, fools.
Ugh.
Biasket, I mean, maybe with biatch, but I mean, there's many letters that don't do that.
Exactly.
But Z is like a letter you have to spell with other letters.
Zed is
You don't have to
should
spell the
be
other letters.
the name of like a transformer or a Power Ranger. It should not be the name of a letter in the alphabet.
I mean, just
Or
I
a
mean,
planet
a
in
letter.
Star
What is a
Trek.
letter? What is a letter? Is it something that is used to make up words?
I mean, by definition, yeah.
Okay, well, Z is not a letter then because it is made up of letters. That makes it a word. So how could a word be the 26th letter of the alphabet?
What about the letter R?
What about the letter R? R. It's not R. The sound that
So
makes
yeah,
is
actually, the more I think about it, the more I
R.
am with Rob on this one, even though I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of saying Z is right, because I think phonetically, all of them would have other letters attached to them.
Yeah.
Like, how would you say N without with just N?
What like it needs
Okay.
or something.
Yeah.
How do you write Z down, like when you're doing the alphabet?
Like the
Like when you're learning the sounds and shit when you're in like, well, kindergarten.
I'm confused by the question.
yeah.
I'll then answer me later because I'm super. Never mind. I've got kids. My bad. I'll ask you later in Discord. But
I mean, like how we're writing it down. I just write the letters.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah, I think it's
yeah,
different
like how
from,
do you learn it as when you're kids?
I mean, I learned the letter, but how I learned the letter and how I learned how to
Like
say it and
phonetically.
pronounce it
Different.
is different. Yeah.
yeah. Like we don't learn how to pronounce it by reading it. We learn how to pronounce it by the teacher saying this is how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Because like
Pronounce it
someone
like
someone
this.
could have like said write Abraxas, and I could write that, but I don't necessarily know how to pronounce it as Abraxas. I just know that it's those letters, you know.
I mean, shit. If somebody's telling you to write down Abraxas in kindergarten, that's some high level Montessori shit.
But, like,
All right,
Oh,
kids. Today
man.
we're going to learn about Olgren.
and that is why my like daydreaming in school was way more profound than it should have been.
Can you say source wall?
Source wall. So I guess yeah.
Repeat after me. Ragnarok.
There you go. Well, all right, everybody. I guess that is it. We are getting out of here, so you have to as well. Be careful out there, and remember, everybody in the Geek Matrix has a home. In the Geek Matrix, you are not alone. Peace.
See ya.